Hey everybody, Martial Arts Film Freak here, and I just want to discuss some news today. Some of it's some movie news, and the other is just some stuff that happened over the weekend that I think is pretty crazy. Let's get into it. First thing is something that actually happened back in September. Chris McKay is confirmed to be directing the Nightwing movie. Chris McKay, if you don't know, directed the Lego Batman movie and has directed a bunch of episodes of Robot Chicken, which is good because that means he's a giant nerd, and it's good when nerds get control of comic book movies because they try to stay as accurate as possible, but also most of them know how to make a pretty good movie. But if you don't know who Nightwing is, Nightwing is the first Robin. Dick Grayson, Dick Grayson was in the circus. He was in the trapeze with his family, and his family was killed one night. Bruce Wayne takes him in, trains him as Robin, and so Robin and Nightwing, as he grows up to be, is essentially just an amazing martial artist and gymnast. Who he kicks ass. Is one of my favorites always. A couple Robin figures up here. I don't have a Nightwing yet, and I want one. So that is essentially who Nightwing is. He's grown up Robin. He's an amazing martial artist. He's a gymnast. And here is something that Chris McKay actually had to say about Nightwing. He said the following: "Whoever gets cast as Nightwing and any other actors around are gonna go through a fucking boot camp experience because it's gonna be a lot. I'm not gonna do a lot of CG. It's gonna be all real shit. It's gonna be real stunt work, and they're gonna need to do all the stuff on camera and do it credibly. Everything he does is gonna have to be real. His superpower is being really fucking good as a human being at fighting and gymnastics and shit like that. So you're going to see that on screen. It's going to be fun." So that's what Chris McKay said. That is completely awesome. I'm super happy that he said that. Like I said, this was back in September that this came out. So a lot of things with some of the Marvel movies that I always see, and they do have stunt doubles, and that's totally fine. Some of them are really cool. I think I've talked to one of them before. But, a lot of their fight scenes aren't cut very well at all, and that's frustrating. Even some of the better ones are still really choppy. DC, so far, I guess we've only really seen one hand-to-hand fight scene in a DC movie, and that was in Batman v Superman with Batman taking out the room full of guys. I like that one. That one's actually shot pretty well. It's very much like the Arkham games, and I really, really enjoyed the Arkham games. So just to hear Chris McKay say, yeah, I'm going to make sure that there's not a lot of CG used and that all my guys have to train and actually do something. Because you can take just a regular actor and do something awesome with him. You look at Keanu Reeves for The Matrix, trained like crazy. Those fight scenes are phenomenal. Everyone in that movie did. You look at, even for the Karate Kid remake, you look at Jaden Smith. Jaden Smith trained, along with all the other kids in the movie, trained with Jackie Chan for, I think, 4 or 5 months before shooting that movie. So if you train an actor, they can do something really, really good. I mean, I would like it if they got somebody who already knows what they're doing. I will say if Taylor Lautner had not just fucked his career with the Twilight movies and Abduction, and probably Grown Ups 2. I liked him in Grown Ups 2. If he hadn't fucked his career with those movies, I'd say Taylor Lautner. Because one thing a lot of people don't realize is that Taylor Lautner is actually a really, really good martial artist. He grew up doing a lot of stuff as a kid, and even as an adult, he's kept a lot of it up. So he's still a really good fighter. So he is somebody that I wish I would have recommended if his career wasn't in the garbage right now.
I didn't know we were kicking. Give me a second to stretch. Huh? All right. We're gonna throw some legs, huh? You wanna throw some legs, huh? Boom!
That just happened.
But yeah, so I'm just really happy Chris McKay said this stuff, because that means that the fight scenes in Nightwing hopefully are going to be really good. In the end, it's also going to come out to camera work. If he can nail the camera work, the fights in this movie are going to rock. There are definitely some storylines I would like to see be done. One really good storyline, and they probably won't do it. They should do it in a Batman movie. They should do a Batman movie with this storyline. It's when Bane breaks Batman's back, which they don't have to redo that in a movie because they already did that in Nolan's trilogy.
Ah, yes! I was wondering what would break first. Your spirit? Oh, your buddy!
When Batman gets his back broken, he knows that he needs a temporary Batman to look over the city, and everyone would assume, yeah, it's gonna be Nightwing, and even Nightwing's like, yeah, bro, I got this. And no, he doesn't do that. He ends up getting Azrael, that guy. Azrael's that guy right there. But in that storyline, Azrael becomes Batman, and he goes a bit crazy, and he goes a bit mad from being Batman, and Dick Grayson, Nightwing, feels betrayed because, he is Bruce Wayne's, he's pretty much Bruce Wayne's son. He's raised him since he was a child, and he says the one person you should have trusted is me, and, Batman has some whole reason of why he didn't do it, but that's a really good storyline, so I'd like to see that be done in a movie, but probably not just a Nightwing movie. But I am very much looking forward to a Nightwing movie, especially after these words from Chris McKay. I'm super excited about this. My second story is actually regarding the Deathstroke movie. I'm not going to cover a lot of superhero stuff on this channel, unless it really pertains to martial arts. If there are two movies that are really going to be martial arts based in superhero movies, it's going to be Nightwing and it's going to be Deathstroke. So Deathstroke was set to be the villain in the Batman movie, but when Matt Reeves took over as director, he said he was rewriting it, so we don't know if Deathstroke is still going to be the villain in Batman. Deathstroke is essentially sort of like Captain America. Deathstroke kind of is a super soldier. He's enhanced, except he's a bit more of a ninja, but he is a white dude. He is Slade Wilson. I remember I was introduced to Slade through the Teen Titans cartoon back in like 2003 to 2005. It was a short-lived show. It got canceled.
I am the thing that keeps you up at night. The evil that haunts every dark corner of your mind. I will never rest. And neither will you.
My friends say you're not real.
I'm very real.
That was when I was introduced to him. He's an awesome character. He's a great fighter. A lot of Deadpool. Deadpool is actually based on a parody. It is a parody of Deathstroke. But that's not important right now. So we don't know if Deathstroke is going to be the villain in the Batman movie. We do know that Deathstroke is getting his own movie, and the news here is who is directing it. The director is Gareth Evans. I'm going to wait a second, let that sink into your brain, and let it explode real quick. Because Gareth Evans has directed 3, maybe 2, because most people don't know about the first one, 2 of the best action/martial arts movies in the past decade. You don't even have to say the best martial arts movies. He's made 2 of the best action movies in the past decade. The Raid Redemption and The Raid 2. That's what that poster is right there. First one being Marantau. It's an amazing martial arts movie, but most people really just refer to the Raid movies. So this is awesome. One of my favorite quotes from Gareth, I think it was in the special features of the first Raid movie, was saying that a lot of directors don't show you a fight scene. You hear a fight scene. But with Gareth, you actually see the fight scene. You experience the fight scene. So that's very important. I'm really excited about that. So far, Joe Manganiello was set to play Deathstroke. We don't know if that's true anymore. He's kind of just sitting, waiting in the wings. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with Joe Manganiello playing Deathstroke because I understand you need an experienced actor. My only problem is I don't know how well he could do with the fight scenes. As I said with the last story, you can train any actor to be an amazing martial artist. I will say I think Scott Adkins is like the same height and they have about the same build. So if when he puts on the mask, it's Scott Adkins behind it, I'm totally cool with that. That would be awesome. Like I said, that's just my idea. I don't know if it's going to happen at all, but that would be great. So yes, Gareth Evans is directing Deathstroke. That is amazing. I'm super excited about that. There's no better person you could have said unless you said like Isaac Florentine. So Gareth, that's awesome. Super happy he's doing that. I really can't wait for that one. My last story pertains to something that happened over the weekend, which was kind of a strange occurrence, but at the same time, it's very cool in a way. It's not entirely cool. It's a bit awkward. It's not great for a certain community, but it's worth talking about because it's interesting. So, of course, as a martial arts fan, as a martial arts movie fan, I do enjoy the occasional Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. They're not my favorite. I'm not a big Jean-Claude Van Damme fan. I really loved his movie JCVD. He should have won an Oscar for that one. His fights aren't always my favorite. I'm not a fan of Bloodsport. I'm not really a big fan of Kickboxer. There's a formula to his fight scenes. I'm not really a fan of it. It's always he's going to win. Then the final fight is going to be a struggle, and then he wins. It's the same thing every single time. He's going to do his signature moves. He's going to do a, jumping back spin kick. He's going to do the splits and punch somebody in the balls. It happens every single time. Every movie he has to do the splits. I'm not a big fan of Jean-Claude Van Damme. However, I do respect him, and his movies are, always watchable at least. And of course, well, not really of course. If you can't tell, I got some pops back here, wherever I'm at. I'm a Power Rangers fan. I've been a Power Rangers fan since I was a kid. So as one of my heroes growing up was Jason David Frank. Jason David Frank was the Green Ranger who became the White Ranger, who became the Red Zeo Ranger, who became the Red Turbo Ranger. He later came on and came back in a couple other seasons and was the Black Dino Thunder Ranger. He's been in a lot of Power Rangers. He's an amazing martial artist, and he is an actual martial artist, because one of my favorite things about the original show was when they would fight outside of their suits, because you actually got to see them. So Jason David Frank was one of them that whenever they were not wearing the suits, you could tell, like, oh yeah, that guy knows what he's doing. He's an actual martial artist. Same goes for Johnny Bosch and a couple of the other guys. Some of them were actually really good fighters. So in his later years, when he's no longer in Power Rangers, Jason David Frank does a lot of combo conventions. He's also an actual MMA fighter. He's not in UFC. He's not in Strikeforce. He's done some smaller stuff, but I'm pretty sure he's undefeated. I think he's like 5-0. I've seen a couple of them, a couple submissions. I think like one knockout. But he's an actual great martial artist and a fighter. So that is important here. Like I said, he does a lot of convention work. I saw him at Nashville Wizard World back in 2014 or 15. I don't remember. I think it was 14. That was fun. He's a really cool guy. His family's really cool. He's a super down-to-earth, nice guy. He has his own brand called like Jesus Didn't Taps. He's a Christian dude. He's got to be a hard dude to piss off. But one of his heroes growing up was Jean-Claude Van Damme. So he got the chance to meet him at the Power Rangers movie premiere in 1995. Apparently, Jean-Claude Van Damme just brushed him off. And then apparently in 2010, Jean-Claude Van Damme put out a thing saying like, hey, I'm looking for an actual fight. I want to actually fight somebody. And Jason David Frank was like, yeah, okay, I'm a cage fighter. Let's do this. Let's actually go. And he got no response. This past Saturday at a convention, I don't remember where it was. I think it was maybe in Mexico. Jean-Claude Van Damme was there. I don't know why. He doesn't usually do conventions. Like I said, Jason David Frank is like a king of Wizard World and Comic-Con at this point in his life. But Jean-Claude Van Damme was there, and at one point they had to share a green room. That wasn't going too well. Jason David Frank got his own room, and then he was invited by JCVD's manager or something, saying like, hey, he just wants to take a picture with you. It's gonna be cool. So Jason David Frank goes to take a picture with him, and apparently like all of Jean-Claude Van Damme's security comes out with like cameras and their phones out, and JCVD starts like antagonizing him and threatening him and calling him out, saying, hey, you wanted to fight me? You think you can beat my ass? And apparently Jason David Frank's response was just yeah. And, you know, Jason David Frank doesn't want to fight at Comic-Con. He'd rather fight in the cage. He thinks it's a bit disrespectful to do that in front of fans. But Jean-Claude Van Damme just kept pestering him, saying, like, let's go, we're going to fight. And Jason David Frank is not one to back down from a fight. He didn't back down. And apparently, there's pictures of it. Jason David Frank pushed JCVD to the wall, got him in a clinch, grabbed the back of his neck, and apparently just said, if you want to go, we will, but you really shouldn't do this right now. And apparently that's when JCVD just totally froze up. As soon as Jason David Frank acted, Jean-Claude Van Damme just froze. And then when he let go and the security lifted their cameras again, he started talking again. The only footage I can find of this is somebody's cell phone, and it's not very good. JCVD's team has not released any footage, at least as of filming this. So this is I don't know what happened, but you know, he had his Jason David Frank had his wife behind him. I think that's who I heard in the video. And as soon as he goes like, "Don't try to punk me, dude," his wife is like, "Okay, we need to go," and they left. So that was it. That happened at Comic-Con. You know, the Green Ranger almost beat the shit out of I think his name was Dukes in Bloodsport. So that's the thing that happened. I want to talk about that. That's weird. What do you guys think of that? That's a strange thing to happen. I kind of want to see that fight. I know that Jason David Frank would whoop his ass. I love all the martial arts that Jean-Claude Van Damme does. I don't think he's just a movie martial artist. People always say that, oh, this person's a movie martial artist. No, some of them are actually fighters. I know that, you know, you say fighter, you think it's like, oh, he does MMA fights. No, but I still wouldn't fuck with Jean-Claude Van Damme. You know, I don't care how old he is, he still kick my ass. So yeah, if that was the thing that ever happened, my money's totally on Jason David Frank. I don't really want it to happen too much, unless Jean-Claude Van Damme like seriously pisses somebody off. So yeah, that's the thing that happened over the weekend. That's some movie news, DC related, martial arts related. What do you think of what Chris McKay said about Nightwing? You know, little CG, everyone's doing full stunts, full fight scenes. What do you think about that? What do you think of Gareth Evans, probably the best action director in the world right now, directing Deathstroke? What do you guys think of that? What do you think of the Green Ranger fighting Jean-Claude Van Damme? What do you guys think of all that? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think of this video. Think of news. Should I be doing more news? If anything ever happens, should I cover more news on this channel? Let me know. Like, share, subscribe, tell your friends. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell button thing. What's that down there? I don't remember what it's called. You know, your notification button. Hit the notification button. You know, you get word of anything that happens. You get word of if I post a video, you'll know immediately. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a great day.